One last thing. If you have any drugs or any alcohol, give me some.
Well, everyone, it's time to soak up as much vitamin D as we can to start the morning. We got to take it all in, get some nature, some water, some fresh air, some laughs, because today is going to be a little bit of a difficult project for me to start tackling. But I took my son down to the water to take in the views, and then I'm going to go home and start to draw. But first, I took my boy for some lunch. This video, this drawing, it's a tribute, and it's personal. So I hope you stick around for the entire video to see the process of me drawing a portrait of, yes, Ozzy Osbourne. This one means a lot. This one's different. Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, has recently passed away, and I've been feeling it in a way that I didn't expect. I knew his music, I grew up with it, but I didn't realize how much of an impact he had on me until he was gone. I think a lot of us are feeling that way right now. So I wanted to sit down, put pencil on paper, and do what I do best. Try to make sense of it through the art. Through my art. So, this is a tribute, not just to the legend, but to the feeling of growing up with someone like Ozzy always in the background of my life. I can still remember the first time that I heard Ozzy's voice. It was gritty, wild, unpredictable. I kind of didn't know what to think, but I was hooked. And of course, at that time, I was already into metal as somewhat. My older brother, and his friends, getting me into bands like Ozzy, Maiden, Priest, even Motley Crue, Metallica, you name it. I kind of listened to it all. But something stood out with Ozzy. So whether it was Sabbath or his solo stuff, there was something raw in it. You could feel it in your chest. It was heavy, yeah. But it was emotional too. Most metal is. When I was a kid, music like that hit different. It wasn't just noise, it was something that I connected with. Especially when I felt like nobody else got it. And I'm sure a lot of metalheads feel the same way. But Ozzy was that voice for the outsiders, for the weird kids, for the ones who didn't fit in neatly. And I guess, in a way, I needed that. So, as I started sketching this out, I didn't want to just capture how he looked. I wanted to capture the presence. Ozzy had this intensity, this fire, but also this weird softness behind his eyes, like a guy who had seen hell and somehow survived it. I think that's why people loved him. He was real, flawed, messy, but unapologetically himself, which is kind of rare, especially these days. When someone like Ozzy passes, it shakes people, not just because of his music, but because of what he represented. He was a voice for the misfits, a symbol of survival, You know, how many of us went through breakups, struggles, long nights with his music blasting through the headphones like a lifeline, through your Walkman headphones? Millions of people across the globe were shaped by his energy, his chaos, his creativity. He wasn't perfect by any means, but that was the point. He showed us that you could be broken and still shine, that you could mess up, fall apart, and still get back up on stage and scream your truth. I can vaguely remind myself of a time growing up with my brother, and something happened with one of his albums, and I believe it was either like The Ultimate Sin or Bark at the Moon or something, and it was a cassette tape. My brother had it, and I ended up taking it, and I wanted to take it to school. And I think I was only in like grade 3, grade 2, I don't know, something like that, if I remember correctly. And my brother was freaking out about it. He didn't know I had it. And I ended up getting caught. And I remember walking in my house after school. I was standing at the front door with my backpack on, and I had the album, the cassette, in my back pocket. And my brother was freaking out on me, saying I stole his album. And I was denying it. I didn't want to give it up. I just wanted to keep it for myself. But as it turns out, he would have whooped my ass. So, you know, I had to give the album back. But that was one of the memories I had with one of his albums. And I mean, even though it's a broken memory, it's still a memory, and it was Ozzy Osbourne. And even though this drawing's just getting started, I knew how I would feel doing this drawing. I knew that this drawing would be good for me, even therapeutic. You know, and sometimes when I'm working on a tribute like this, it feels like I'm spending time with that person almost, you know, because they're just sitting there staring back at me. So even if it's just in my own head, it's fine. But there's something sacred about slowing down, putting your energy into every line, every shadow. It was a way of me saying goodbye, essentially, and thank you at the same time. Death has a strange way of reminding us what matters. It strips everything down to the essentials. And for me, it reminds me how powerful art, especially art like mine, and music really are. They kind of go hand in hand, and they outlive us. They carry pieces of us forward. And Ozzy left behind so much. Not just albums and shows, but impact, emotion, family, and a legacy that millions will carry forever. And I just feel lucky to be one of them. Ozzy and his family even came out with a TV show back in the day, The Osbournes. I didn't even watch all of The Osbournes when it came out. I caught a few episodes here and there. Thought it was funny, chaotic, kind of wild, just from what I saw. But now, I feel drawn to watch it again. Not for the drama or the laughs, but to see him again, to hold on to those little pieces, to hear his voice and see the way he moved and hear him laugh. And I catch myself lately on YouTube like crazy, watching a lot of his old music videos, even little clips of him, and I can't help but smile. But it's weird how grief makes you want to rewind time and relive everything that you took for granted. I guess that's just human, right? One thing that I think is overlooked quite a bit is what Ozzy and Sharon did for the next generation of artists. They didn't just sit at the top and soak up the spotlight, they shared it, which was Ozfest. It was their way of saying, you've got something, step up and show the world. So it wasn't just about the big names, it was a platform for up-and-coming bands that would have never probably have had a shot otherwise. And that's huge. So in a world where most legends protect their throne, Ozzy opened the gates and invited others in. He gave artists a place to be loud, to be raw, and to be seen. And I think that says a lot about the kind of person that he was and the person that Sharon is. He was behind like all the madness. He remembered what it was like to be hungry, probably, and to be unknown. He never forgot to lift up others along the way. And that's not just a music icon. That's a real one. All of this being said, I'm sure I could sit here all day and talk about Ozzy, his music, his legacy, everything. But I'm just going to stop talking at this point and let the music play and let you enjoy the drawing. So I hope that this tribute does some justice to the man who gave us so much. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Thank you for the music. Thank you for the madness. Thank you for being exactly who you were. Loud, raw, honest, and unforgettable. This one is for you. And for anyone out there who's ever found comfort in a voice It felt like home. I hope this brought something to you too. So long live the Prince of Darkness.
Remembers.
Yeah. We got the special Ozzy level. Ozzy, I know it's working because I'm even feeling it, man.
Got better?
No.
You gonna rinse out? How about taking a rinse?
The smell of success. Bubbles! Oh, come on, Sharon. I'm not Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness. Evil, what's evil? I've got to borrow the bubbles.